Welcome to the Inside Joke. I'm John DeCoven, and I am very happy to have here Jeff Applebaum.
Hey,
Jeff, it's great to see you.
John, great to see you.
Fellow Jew, and
thanks, John.
We're here. It's Chinese New Year.
It is.
It's the end of the Chinese New Year, and we're
just the beginning in my home.
Right, exactly. Well, that's actually, well, she doesn't celebrate Chinese New Year.
Of course she does.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's Chinese.
Okay. And so let's talk about you. Now, people are always interested. They see a guy like you, and you're up there. So the first thing they always want to know is what got you into comedy.
What got me into comedy?
How did you get? How long have you been doing comedy? Let's start out with that.
Some argue if I've been doing comedy at all.
Well, yeah. Exactly. Well, when in your mind did you start?
About 10 years ago.
Okay, about 10 years ago.
Officially. So humor was always
well, first of all, you're Jewish, so it's almost like.
John, say that again, so that people out there.
First of all,
and the Taliban can get a hold of this tape and talk about it. Thanks, John.
And I mean, look, let's face it. It's like every black guy can sing. Every Jew is funny to some extent.
Ladies and gentlemen, the National Organization of Women, the NAACP's Man of the Year, John DeCoven.
And every Hispanic is great before. So right after 9/11.
Right around, actually it was at the time of 9/11, so I went up for my first open mic like a week before 9/11, then 9/11 happened.
And where was the open mic?
In Palo Alto at the Rosen Crown.
Rosen
It was
Crown.
a fantastic place, and I got to perform at it for years, and also got to help to organize and run the room after a while there too.
Right, I didn't know you then.
Say that again.
I didn't know you then.
No, John, we were.
I knew of the Rosen Crown.
You know of the Rosen
Because I kind of started to do comedy and then I stopped. But when I started again, I met you. I still remember. I met you at that coffee shop in
San Jose, downtown San Jose, across from the McDonald's. And you did that bar mitzvah joke about 13. I remember that.
I did a bar mitzvah.
Yeah, you said rating kids. Remember that joke you have about rating the 13-year-old's bank accounts?
Oh, okay. Oh, shit.
See the things that I remember?
Yeah, he remembers that. And I think Lynn Ruth Miller was there. At that time, I liked her.
And Grace White was also there, too.
Oh, Grace White, yeah. So, but anyways, at that time, I liked Lynn Ruth. So anyways, but that's a whole other topic. So
John, you exude love.
So you started getting into comedy, yes. You started doing open mics, you started performing. I mean, when did it transition from, was it kind of just like a hobby at first, like, hey, I like doing this, or I really want to try to make something out of this?
Yeah, no, I think my intention was to be serious from the beginning, and I knew that, like anything else I had done in my life, it's going to take work, it's going to take time, and it takes time, as Eddie Brill says, to find your voice. I mean, I've been speaking on stage and business and stuff for years and always used humor as a communication vehicle, but it's very different speaking to people that are there for business to hear you versus, you know, a room full of people like Buncho's Comedy Club. Fantastic place, best comedy club on Regional Street in Dublin.
Exactly.
And
that serves dim sum.
Serves dim sum. Okay, yeah. That's right. And I knew it would take some work and time to find my voice, if you will, and I was willing to pay that price, and still am, and still always working to get better and better. But I also realized that if I decided to just be who I am and bring out stuff of my family and my life and my background, that would make it more real for the audience, and it would make me much more comfortable when I'm just communicating and telling a story that has humor in it, as opposed to standing and telling jokes. And out of that, the humor started to develop, and I started to get to more, book stuff at clubs, opening and polishing the act, and then also booking more corporate stuff because I tend to keep my act clean, because my goal was always to be able to get on TV and do movies, and if you can stay clean, they'll put you on more national broadcasts.
Yeah. For those young comics,
yeah.
See, they even agree back there.
Yes.
Because they don't understand that if you keep, nowadays I think more than maybe 20 years ago, you got to be clean. What do you think?
Well, yes and no. I mean, you have other cable networks that it doesn't matter. My target is I think I'm able to get more work because I'm a little older than some of the comics. I have family, I have kids, so for me too is that I bring my family around my comedy and I want to keep it clean from that perspective. But you get corporate work, which tends to pay well, right. But also you can develop and develop an act that works in clubs and anywhere. Think of a guy like Brian Regan, who I find hysterical.
Well, he's clean.
Completely clean.
Right.
He's one of the cleanest comics I've ever seen, and he makes me laugh to the point where I hurt.
Right.
And so that's a great role model.
Comedy, is that pretty much your focus now?
Absolutely.
Or do you have any, but I mean, you kind of have other stuff.
I have other stuff.
But not a day job.
Well, I know I do some engineering work. I also have a business, but you know, I have a family of 5, and I have to take care of them. And until you hit big time in some places, it takes a lot of resources to support a family, and we have to do a lot of medical stuff with our fertility treatment, which wasn't cheap. You know, you can't get those at Costco.
No.
Even though we did enough to buy them.
I heard Walmart's going to start. So.
Well, I don't think the people that shop there necessarily have any fertility problems.
I wouldn't be
if you've
surprised.
noticed at Walmart.
So now, growing up, you came from New York, Brooklyn.
Yeah. Then to Queens, and then to Long Island.
So right there, I mean, you got the New York, the Jew. It's like it was your destiny.
That's right.
Did you have comedians you followed as a kid, or?
Yeah, I mean, I love, you know, Cosby. It's funny, but Billy Crystal, someone I always looked up to. Eddie Murphy, when he came out with, you know, Delirious and all that. And I mean, we were in junior high school, and it was just fantastic stuff. And always enjoyed seeing that, and always enjoy the. I mean, if you could get up on stage and bring people together and have them laugh, that's kind of validation. And there's something magic about that validation. And if you can help them feel better about their day, to me, that gives me pleasure. And if you could, one way of giving me pleasure. And if you could, John, please don't.
Yes.
And if you could do other things, when you make people laugh and they say, "Man, you made my night," that to me is fantastic. Because until you make it big, that's mostly your payment most of the time in comedy at first, or when you sell your CDs available online, by the way.
And don't worry, we're going to put right here the.
Okay.
Yeah, we do full. This is no schlock.
No.
I mean, there's going to be graphics and
stuff. When I think John DeCoven, I never think schlock. I just want you all to know that John DeCoven. I want you to know, look on Wikipedia, you look John DeCoven, it's under quality.
But, yes, thank you. And so what are your plans now moving forward? I mean, do you have a kind of a game plan, or you just, what's your game plan?
My game plan is to be secretly discovered. No, I continue to work.
You were on Ferguson.
I was on his show. I was not on Ferguson.
You were not on him.
I like the Scots, but not that much.
Late show with Fred Ferguson.
Yes.
Now, do you feel, I mean, obviously that had to have helped somehow.
Sure, absolutely.
But, you know, sometimes that's not even enough.
You can't rest on any particular laurel. What it's nice is that it's a real credit, and it substantiates you as a real comic, and you have the opportunity. And if I do other gigs, they see that and they go, okay, that's credible. Unless the kid's got a really good editing software and he really wasn't on the program.
Right.
But
well,
so
it's very easy to do. I'm going to be on Letterman tomorrow. So.
That's right, as his lawyer. But so that was fantastic, and my goal is to continue to get some more TV work. And I do acting work too, do some more movie works, and eventually become the host of a talk show or produce my own stuff. And I enjoy bringing a different perspective, as you know, perhaps a New Yorker in the Bay Area who's either angry or notices stuff. And there's a lot of great things in the Bay Area that you can point out from a different perspective.
Wait, you're going to do comedy where you notice things? I don't think that's ever been done before.
Thanks, John. What an interview you're doing. Larry King has nothing to worry about.
This isn't my career. Matter of fact, when you start that talk show, I want to be your Andy Richter.
Okay, you can
I think we would be good together.
Andy Richter.
You know who he is, right?
Of course, I know who he is.
He's unemployed right now.
But he had a nice severance package.
Yeah, nice
severance package.
Exactly. So.
Speaking of nice package, John DeCoven.
Were you going to say something?
No, I have nothing to say about your nice package.
Well, it's always a pleasure seeing you, Jeff. I know my mom loves seeing you.
I love your mom.
I love seeing you.
She can.
Julie loves seeing you.
I love your fiancée. How'd you do that, Joe?
We look forward to many years of
You came to my kid's bar mitzvah, John. I mean, come on. That's family. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.